Exactly. So it's really lovely to see bumping into you and meet you today. It would be good to understand what sort of customers you've been interacting with at the moment.
So I work with what we call our enterprise commercial customers, which are our large global strategic customers, particularly in manufacturing.
Okay. Yeah. So from this event, what are you kind of seeing the conversations being centralised around?
Yeah. So I think the usual candidates are always coming up. So ransomware is always top of mind for a lot of CISOs.
Yeah.
But also, more and more, what we're seeing is how they respond. So less about the protection, but more about how they respond. And so cyber resilience is top of mind for a lot of our customers at the moment. And actually, it's been based on the use case of recovering from a ransomware attack. So that's common. That's been a very common conversation. The other things, we're still in a difficult situation from a cost management perspective, with the economy how it is. So customers are really looking to consolidate and save money.
Yeah.
So looking more and more towards a platform approach, which obviously fits well with Microsoft's strategic direction.
Yeah, so as you're probably aware, Bytes are Microsoft's biggest customers, our biggest partners, sorry. So on the back of this, we'd obviously be looking to follow up with these sorts of customers and make sure that we're aligning them with the correct messaging and the correct outputs. So I guess it'd be good to understand from you, what would you be expecting from the output? Is it that actually customers need to utilise the licenses they already have? Is it that they need to consolidate from other vendors? Or is it that actually they need to up their current security by adding on different vendors or adding on more Microsoft licenses?
Well, I would say all of the above.
Yeah.
And I think you're right, customers don't always fully deploy because Microsoft is a good and bad thing. So Microsoft's got a rapid development pace, and we're always adding new capabilities to existing products. And so keeping up with the new capabilities can be a challenge so that they can make the best use of what they have. But also, from a cost consolidation, that's definitely a focus area for a lot of our customers. And wanting to sort of consolidate down into a single pane of glass. So Microsoft Sentinel is a huge area of interest for a lot of our customers right now from that sort of single pane of glass perspective. So definitely they're the big areas.
Perfect. Well, enjoy the rest of the exhibition and thank you very much for your time today.
Yeah, no worries. Thanks.
Dave McDonald from CrowdStrike.
How you doing?
I want to know, what do you think are one of the key themes this year at Infosec?
So, I think it's been interesting. I've been doing this quite a while, as you can probably tell, right? So, some of the key things I've seen, there's a lot of new vendors here. Some of the key things is AI as an example. We've seen a lot around different vendors approach into that market. I think some of the key other markets, we've obviously talking about it, XDR, managed services. We've seen quite a bit of, GUIs and what we can get. When customers spend their money, they like these GUIs and where they can look into interfaces and obviously see what they're getting for their money, right?
Yep.
Customers spend a lot of money with all the different vendors here. One of the other things that's a key for me is consolidation play.
Yep.
I've seen a lot of that. We've got our alliances with Mimecast, as you know, that we work quite closely with, and obviously we're doing having those conversations with you. We've had some great events, right? The Mimecast Day that Georgia organised, fantastic. So I think there's starting to be a little bit more of that, people working together. A little bit of calibration, but I think one of the key things, having those, like we're showing on display right now, right? Customers are looking and going, I can actually live get into onto a screen and actually see what my product's doing.
Yep.
It's protecting me. I can see what it's doing. I've got the data to come back on and say, this is the reason I've spent money. And this is the reason I spent money with CrowdStrike. So that's probably one of the common things. I've been going around everywhere and every demo and all the rest of it.
Yep.
But yeah, it's been a fantastic show. It keeps getting bigger and bigger. I can't remember how many I've been to of these, but yeah, I'll tell you what, it's great. I find it a bit of a reunion as well, but great to see people like yourself here as well, yeah?
Brilliant, appreciate it, Dave. Thanks for your time. Cheers. We've got Ben Temple from Pentera. Ben, wanted to get your thoughts on one of the key themes of Infosec this year. What do you think?
So one of the key things that I've seen from Infosec this year, I don't generally speak to CISOs much, I speak to partners more, right? With the likes of Bytes, one of our good partners in the UK. Well, I've been speaking to a lot of CISOs today and yesterday and asking them questions about why they're here, what value they get. And the different answers that I've had, whether it's I've come to see new technology, I've got this or that business use case I'm looking to solve, and just coming to see specific vendors or coming with their partners to see specific vendors has been something that I've really picked up from it this year. A lot of CISOs willing to have a lot of conversations with partners as well, which is great.
Brilliant. Cool. Ben, thanks very much.
Thanks, mate.
Cheers.
Thanks guys, I'm here with Darktrace, Callum at Darktrace, one of our partners here at Bytes. Callum, what's some of the conversations that you're having with customers here at Infosec today?
Well, I mean, it's mad, as you know, there's 100,000 different people here, everyone asking questions. Apart from the flashy car that we've got, the key things I think that are most attracting sort of our customers also, but actually new people, is about the Microsoft partnership. So we work very closely with Microsoft and have really built that over the past couple of years. And really what that's meant for us is the ability to work strategically with them to offer above and beyond their current coverage. Microsoft are the best at rules and signatures that you can offer there. They have so much of a database, but it's how we can add extra layers above that, even with E5 licensing. And I think that's the key thing that has allowed us to kind of what's most interesting to people really today.
Lovely, really thank you.
Brilliant, no worries mate, have a good one.
Jason, great to see you today. Rapid7 has been a busy stand. One question. If you were going to have a customer coming here and you wanted them to go away with one thing, one mission statement, one bit of advice, one bit of information from Infosec, what would that be?
Yeah, great question, Tom, and lovely to see you again today. Fundamentally, if you are a company or an individual or a CISO that is struggling to understand risk and threat based on context relative to your organization, Rapid7 is the organization to go to.
Ideal. Thank you very much.
Andy, what are some of the conversations you're having recently, and what's really been interesting for yourselves and for customers at Infosec?
Definitely various things. I think AI and machine learning is top of everyone's agenda. Absolutely. And it's the new tool and the new kid on the block, right? But at the end of the day, it's about understanding that threat landscape a little bit better. So the customers, or even the prospects we've been to today, have been talking about how they understand activity within the environment and understand it correctly, rather than because they're dealing with a lot of alert fatigue, for example, from a lot of alerts from different systems. And I think my answer to that is the first and foremost is to understand normal behavior. And that can be encompassed by many different tools. To understand normal in your environment uniquely, then to look at those anomalies which show risk and understand those risk profiles. So I think everyone has the same idea. They've invested in many different security tools, but my personal opinion is that collaboration is needed. There's some really great tools that we see here, a lot of great vendors. But collaborating and not only them working together, enriching each other, but then context enriching that as well will be a great thing. We should all hold hands, I think.
Definitely. Are there any examples of how Exabeam are able to do that, and are there any particular vendors that you play well with?
Yeah, so Exabeam specifically is part of the XDR Alliance, which actually does that exact thing. There's a selection of key vendors in there who have a specialization in key areas. So what that means from an open XDR perspective is that we can take in information from all these different vendors and so they can enrich each other. So we can start to understand the risk profiles of an organization. So that's the XDR Alliance specifically. Yeah.
Really, really interesting. Thank you very much.
Pleasure. Pleasure.
Great to see you again, Michael.
How are you doing?
So, what have customers been approaching you about at Infosec?
It's actually interesting. There's a lot of talk about ransomware spread, lateral movement, right?
Yeah.
So the ability of these things to spread across the network, and that's been a big focus because customers want to actually be able to maintain cyber resilience after something like that happens.
Yeah, 100%. And how are Illumio answering that question that being asked of you?
Yeah, good. Because so we're actually using visibility to light up the network so they can actually understand what's going on. And then once they understand what's going on, they can actually use labels to logically group things and then put policy in place, either using zero trust or boundaries to make sure that things don't actually spread. So they're using these assume breach, zero trust philosophies to actually help them do that. And Illumio is making their life a whole lot easier to do that.
Great stuff.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
No
Well,
problem.
back to your
Thanks,
speaking slot.
You too. Thank you very much.
Richard, great to see you again.
Yeah, good to see you again.
What are the top projects that customers have been approaching you to see if Netskope can help them solve this year at Infosec?
Yeah, that's a great question, actually. I think it falls into probably one core theme, and that is the fact that coming out of the pandemic, we've come out of it for a while, but organizations are really now getting to grips with that new hybrid work normal and reassessing how they secure access to applications and data.
Yeah.
So the biggest discussions we're having are, number one, remote access. How can we consolidate the 5 or 6 VPNs that we've got, the various different clients on the endpoint, to a single solution that provides access wherever the application is, without having to go through and use multiple different products. They can finally get rid of that VPN concentrator that they've hated for so long. And I think the second key thing tied into that is just visibility into data. They've lost track of where their data is. Their teams have been using whatever applications they like, not managed by IT, and they now need to get grips with that and start reining in and getting a full understanding of where all that data sits, and then be able to start building policy around enforcing data staying within those boundaries.
Brilliant. It's a really tactical problem around VPN and something much more strategic around data.
Yeah, exactly. And both of these two are leading in to a wider project, really, to deploy a security service edge or SASE platform. And it's the tactical projects that are making people start that journey. They're saying, I want to adopt a SASE or an SSE platform, but where do I start? And those are the two key ways people are starting.
Fantastic. Thanks, Richard.
No problem at all.